Hi, everyone. My name is Caitlin McMahon.
My name's Sam Lair.
My name is Frank Russo.
My name is Sarah Zaramber.
And I'm Victoria Rowley. This is the Management Consulting Group's Dean's Case 2022 solution deck on Spotify. This should serve as just a rough template as to what your presentation should be looking like at this point in your education. Beginning with our agenda, we're going to start with an industry overview, followed by a problem identification. Then we'll present some recommendations to solve those problems, followed by an implementation, some implications, and finally a conclusion. Moving on to our industry analysis, we saw a tremendous growth in the music streaming industry in the last 10 years. We identified some of Spotify's main competitors to be Apple Music, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, and Rezo. We also found that Spotify had a very strong global presence in the Americas, parts of Africa, Europe, and Australia. And finally, we identified some key market trends to be competition for new music, high customer loyalty, and interface convenience. I'd now like to pass it off to Sarah to discuss our problem identification.
Thank you, Tori. So as you can see here, after studying the case, we have identified the three main problems that we believe to be plaguing Spotify today. Those being that the ad revenue for the company has been steadily decreasing over the past 2 years, that there are low and actually no switching costs to alternative services, and that there is a current lack of diversification of audio offerings with a very small sector of non-music content. To solve these problems, we suggest that Spotify runs ads more frequently, adds more Spotify exclusive features in order to increase brand loyalty, and thirdly, increase the non-music sector of Spotify's current library. Our first recommendation is to increase the ad frequency rate on the free tier of Spotify's subscription platform. Currently, ad revenue accounts for around 9% of the total Spotify revenue, and about a ratio of 2 minutes per 1 hour of music listened. If we increase the ad time by 50%, we anticipate that the revenues that we will be able to gain from this will increase at around the same rate for a total ad service revenue projection of $1.1 billion for next year. Even if we go through with this 50% increase, increasing the ratio to 3 minutes of ads per 1 hour of listened music, this is still well below Spotify's competitors, which average around 4 minutes of advertisements per 1 hour of music on their free subscription tiers. Now I'm passing it off to Frank to handle the rest of our recommendations.
Thank you, Sarah. Our next recommendation involves developing Spotify exclusive features. Spotify have been leaders in the releasing of music ever since the development of New Music Fridays. By signing agreements with artists, Spotify can release exclusive music for their premium members a day before other platforms. Artists would benefit from the added hype of a pre-release and would still succeed with a Saturday release of their music on other platforms. As you can see to the right, we have provided a prototype of how this may look on the Spotify homepage with exclusive new music at the top. And when premium users click on the music, they will be able to listen to it. And when free users click on it, they will be prompted to upgrade to premium to access it. Our next recommendation involves increasing alternative audio selections. The podcast industry has a projected CAGR of 31% over the next 10 years. Spotify admitted that there is a future in alternative audio industry and is taking steps towards making 20% of their library audio other than music. Spotify has already spent over $100 million signing podcasters such as Joe Rogan and have yet to see a profit. By spending more money on podcasts, Spotify can bolster their library of podcasts and realize their profits of the podcast industry when it comes to fruition. I will be now passing it off to Sam, who will go over the implementation timeline.
Thanks, Frank. So for the implementation timeline, we recommend that Spotify utilizes a staggering system. So for the advertising increase, in the first quarter of 2022, Spotify should increase the ad times in European markets. And by the third quarter of 2023, review the results and implement the strategy globally. By the second quarter of 2022, the early access pass should begin negotiations with smaller artists. And by the fourth quarter of 2023, already be negotiating with larger artists to release exclusive content on Spotify. And lastly, with the audio diversification, in the first quarter of 2022, research podcasters from diversified categories so that by the first quarter of 2024, there's a diverse selection of exclusive podcasts to encourage new users to enter the platform. Moving on to our financials. Increasing the ad frequency will increase the ad revenue by about 50% in the first year, with revenue gradually growing as it's implemented globally. The costs to sign artists will be partially offset by the increase to the number of premium memberships that is a result of it. And spending $500 million on podcasts within the next 5 years will increase the financing costs. We believe that ultimately the total revenue will be projected at around $12.2 billion by 2025 after installing our recommendations. I'll now pass it off to Caitlin to go over our KPIs.
Thank you, Sam. Some key metrics your company should look to meet if you were to implement our recommendations are having a 90% user retention rate after 1 month of increasing the ad frequency. Additionally, Spotify should hope to see a 12% increase in revenue during the first quarter. We would also recommend looking to meet a 10% metric to reach more first-day listeners on Spotify than other competitors, as well as a 5% decrease in premium users lost per month. And finally, we recommend that Spotify attempts to spend at least $500 million on podcasts in the next 5 years, while also seeing podcast viewership increase by 25% in the next coming years. Looking into some risks and mitigations, while increasing the ad listening time may cause users to be a bit hesitant on using Spotify, your company could advertise that the 3 minutes is still less than other competitors in the market. Additionally, competitors may try to race your company in signing artists in order to guarantee the early releases on their platform. However, Spotify can use the first in market strategy in order to make sure that they stay a pioneer in this industry. And finally, Spotify is not able to recuperate the money spent on podcasts within 5 years. However, your company could sign long-term contracts in order to extend the longevity of the future within podcasts. In conclusion, we recommend that Spotify increases the number of ads on the free version of Spotify, as well as add more Spotify exclusive features to draw in users to the premium level instead of just using the free version. And finally, to increase the podcast library because there's a huge market still within that section of listening features. We would like to thank you for your time and open the floor to any questions.
Now that you've finished your presentation, you'll typically move on to a question round with the judges. Having an appendix is a great tool for your team to use in order to back what you're saying when you answer the questions from the judges. Some things that you could include in your appendix are financial information, such as a balance sheet, statement of cash flows, projected income statement, or a revenue build. You could also include any industry-specific information or any information about the company to back up all of your answers to questions from the judges. Thank you and good luck in any further case competitions.